Today we're going to try something really crazy. 23.9, close enough. These are very close to true O scale. You don't want to try this with a modern transformer. So this is based off of a real B&O caboose from 1916 up to 1938. That is not helpful. Now it is truth or consequences time. Part of the circuit is running through this wire arm here. Very simple but effective animation for the layout. Hello again, this is Mike with Toy Train Tips and Tricks, and I was walking through my neighborhood Menards the other day, going in there to pick up some hardware and some tools. They were having this 15% off bag sale. Anything that would fit in the bag, 15% off. So I threw in my tools, I threw in my hardware, and I got up to the register, and somehow, miraculously, these two boxcars had managed to fling themselves into my bag. So, apparently they really wanted to come home with me. So here they are. We're going to do a quick unboxing and inspection of these two Menards boxcars. So first, let's take a look at this TP&W, Toledo, Peoria, and Western. I like the graphics. I like the road name. It's a Midwestern short line, and quite a bit of history with that. So this is the way you find them on the shelf in this plastic clamshell. To open it up, we need to take care of the stickers on top. So let's open them up. I think I need a sharper knife. This is what happens when the kids play with your tools. There we go. Okay. Let me put it back through the other direction just to make sure. Okay, so we cut through the plastic. Let's open the clamshell and see what we have. All right, so this is typical of Menards boxcars. We have metal trucks with simulated springs. It's not actually sprung trucks. The metal trucks have journal bearings, so they look like an older truck, more like a post-war car. Sheet metal frame along with these die-cast trucks, metal couplers, even have the uncoupler plate on the bottom that make it look more like a post-war type truck. We've got some underbody detail. This is supposed to be an air brake. It's not really prototypical for the time period, but hey, it's some underbody detail on that. The graphics are generally good on these Menards cars. My one pet peeve, as I've mentioned with others, is the way they do the road numbers. The upside is the numbers. You can make a unit train. They usually make 5 or 6 different road numbers. So you can make a string of cars all with different numbers. The downside to that is you can see it's a shiny little sticker that does the number. If that really bothers you, shoot some dull coat or something like that on there. It'll tone it down. But that's really my one pet peeve with these. Notice the nice little tag graphics here. Opening doors. Yes, there we go. The opening doors. Nice roof walk detail. I like the yellow ladders. And even some printing on the ends, some graphics on the end, including the built by Menards. But do not hump. You must have an interesting load in there. It doesn't want you to hump it. Maybe it's got some explosives or something in there. I don't know. But I like the do not hump on there. Okay, so we've got the TP&W car. We'll set this aside. Actually, before we open the Delaware and Hudson car, let's give it a size comparison. For those of you who haven't seen these, if you don't have a local Menards and you're thinking about ordering these online, just to give you a size comparison, here is a typical Lionel size boxcar. This is actually an MPC era car, one of the 9700 series, but it's the same size as a 6464. And you'll notice that the Menards car is a little longer and a little taller because these are not based on the Lionel molds. These are based on a very near scale model that was done by AMT, either American Model Toys or Auburn Model Toys. Their name changed during their short existence. But in the early 1950s, they made these nice cars. And these molds have survived. Menards uses them, Williams uses them, and I believe RMT still uses some of them. K-Line had them for a while. But this is a near scale 40-foot boxcar. So when I say near scale, if you're using a scale, Lionel or MTH, 50-foot modern boxcar, it's going to look smaller because, well, it is. But for a 40-foot boxcar, which was pretty much the standard of the 1940s, 1950s, this is pretty close to being true O-scale. So this is an original AMT car, and if you compare it, the details, other than the brake, the underframe, everything of the shell, the rivets are in the right spots, all of the placards are in the same spot. It's pretty much the identical mold. So they're slightly larger than your Lionel boxcars, but when you put them in a train together, they still look all right. Because, if you look at a prototypical freight train, every car is not exactly the same size. With boxcars, there were different types. So that's the TP&W. Let's take a look at this other one that magically jumped into my bag, the Delaware and Hudson. And neither of these must be new, because I had not seen these in their catalog or in the store before these things magically jumped into my bag. So, hopefully clean the shell. Okay, and we have the same idea. We've got, again, the metal trucks, journal boxes, simulated springs, metal underframe, same brake rigging, same heft, similar placard designs, graphics, and again, there's our sticker with our road number. It's a little shiny. From a distance, this one doesn't look too bad. It's not super noticeable, but up close you can see that shimmer and shine. This one, yep, do not hump on this one as well. So that's a graphic I hadn't seen before on these. But who knows what they're in there, what's breakable or explodable, or the mystery load in the boxcar. But anyway, the Delaware and Hudson, nice graphics on that. I like that one there too. So again, these two just magically hopped in my bag. They wanted to come home with me, I guess. So now that we've seen them on the bench, let's put them on the layout and see what they do. Okay, so here we are on the layout, and throwing a quick train together. We start with our Lionel GP38, which, as I described in another video, is actually a GP39-2, but hey, it's pretty close. And following that, we have an original AMT boxcar that the Menards cars are based off of. This is from about 1953, 1954. And again, these are slightly larger than Lionel's 6464 or the 9400, 9700 from the MPC era. So they're a little bit larger than that. And actually, these cars were the reason that there were the 6464 series. These came out first, and they were much larger than anything Lionel offered at a boxcar at the time. And so Lionel had to play catch up with those. So then we have one of our Menards cars, one of the new ones that jumped into my bag. And you can see the similarities between that and the AMT car. And we have the other Menards car, our TP&W. Then for a size comparison, I threw in a couple of Lionel high cube box cars from the 1970s, the Chesney, the N&W, and then a regular traditional size 9700 series Lionel boxcar from the 1970s. Again, these are the same size as the 6464, and then throw in a near scale bay window caboose on the end. So I'm going to start this up and let them run. The other thing about this is this shows a technique that I use when I have larger and smaller cars in the same train by breaking up the vision by putting something else in the middle, in this case the high cubes. As the train runs, you won't really notice the difference in size between the Menards cars and the Lionel car. Alright, so here we go, starting the train. And we're off. So I'm running on the outside the 042 loop right now. I can tell these look really good going around those wider radius curves. But again, they have no problem whatsoever with 027. I just don't have my inner loop wired up right now. I'm still wiring the control panel. Passing shot here. Focusing on these two Menards cars in action. So I'll pull back here, see if I can get the whole train in one shot. So again, you can compare the Menards at the front to the Lionel. Barely fit in one shot, but you can see you really can't, you really don't notice the size difference because of those high cubes being in the middle in between. It breaks up the view, breaks up your eye, so you really don't notice it. Alright, so again, these are boxcars from Menards. They're based on old AMT molds, which later went to Kusan, which later went to Chris Model Trains, which later went to Williams, also to K-Line, and today are made by Menards and RMT, and Williams still makes cars of this size as well. So lots of variety. The Menards cars are budget friendly, priced at $19.99 retail, but you can find them on sale all the time. So for a $20 car, nice detail, nice function. Maybe not as nice as the high-end scale cars, but again, looking at the budget, $20 versus $80, $90, $100 for a car. For those of us on a budget, this is definitely the way to go. Alright, so until next time, this is Mike from Toy Train Tips and Tricks signing off. Until then, if you like the video, like it, share it, tell your friends, tell your neighbors, subscribe, and then keep the trains running.